You can't see my bags anymore.
Oh dear.
And I'm about to go to the pool because there's actually a rooftop pool here. So, I'm about to step on up there. See what that's like. It's still daylight out here. I think we're an hour ahead of Maryland. So, there's still plenty of time to enjoy the day. And that's what I'm gonna do. Cheers to solo travel, having fun with yourself, enjoying your own company, laying back, relaxing, enjoying life, exploring, success, and awesome peace Jonesness. Cheers. live last night on Bourbon Street. It was really awesome. It was actually everything that they say it is. It was super lit. The grenade was good, the hand grenade drink, and it actually wasn't that expensive. It was like $10, which if you guys go out in the DMV, you know that that's not too expensive for a drink this size. And it had a lot of alcohol in it. I actually only had one. Maybe tonight I can have more than one. If I go back to Bourbon Street, the locals were telling me to go to Frenchman Street because that's a little bit less crowded and stuff. But I kind of like the crowds on Bourbon Street. But anyway, I'm about to go do my plantation tour at 12, but I have to hit the French Quarter because that's where we're leaving from. And while I'm down there, I'm going to try and get some good pictures and get something to eat for sure because it's a 4-hour tour and they're not feeding us. So I need to stop at the grocery store, get some bottled water, get some Tylenol, and then maybe like a few snacks or something like that. So yeah, time to catch this Uber. I'll see you guys later.
Regular tonight. Nobody beautiful.
You say you made them out of?
Nails.
And then what's that silver part?
Just like to make the sound like tap. Tap. To make the sound.
And this is like a hustle out here?
And then it all comes up like.
So how'd you all learn how to do that? You taught yourself?
Yeah, we came from the basic and then we started teaching ourselves.
Crawfish, the turkey necks, the corn and potatoes, and the shrimp. And all of this came up to $17. So that's actually pretty good because back at home you cannot get this much for this cheap. And I noticed that the guys down here aren't as aggressive as the guys back at home. They'll like tell you you're beautiful, or they'll, you know, look at you or whatever, but they won't like really confront you like the men back at home. So I thought that was interesting too. But yeah, all in all, it was a beautiful experience. I'll definitely be coming back. And I hope this inspired someone to go ahead and take that solo trip, baby. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So I'm back from the NOLA, and I just wanted to give you guys a rundown on how the trip went. give you guys some pros and cons to female solo travel, because there is a difference between male solo travel and female solo travel. I feel like females come off a little bit more vulnerable, so there's things that we have to watch out for that males don't. Also, I wanted to give you guys a little story time on these Uber prices in New Orleans that just blew me away. And just some tips, I guess, overall for traveling alone as a female. So, first of all, I'll start off by saying how this whole thing came about, right? My friend wanted to have her birthday celebration in New Orleans in July. We planned the trip, we booked the flights, we booked the Airbnb, and then there was this huge hurricane predicted to hit. So we waited until as far out as we could without losing our money, and we ended up having to cancel, right? But of course, with Southwest, you can still get your credit and use it at a later date. So I wanted to use my credit somewhere between July and before the winter hit, because I just wanted to get it out of the way, right? She wanted to use her credit to spend time with her husband for their anniversary, and I think they wanted to go to an island or something. So I was like, okay, cool. So I said, okay, well, why not go back to New Orleans, right? I really wanted to do it. This was literally on my bucket list, and I was like, hey, I might as well just go back down there. It'll still be pretty warm. And I'm pretty sure I'll have fun, because New Orleans, they call it the Big Easy. They're very welcoming. And I felt like it was a good place for me to do a solo trip, because I didn't feel like I would really have to do the most to fit in, or I didn't feel like I would have to worry about standing out and potentially making myself, vulnerable to whatever risky things can happen. And I felt like it's so much fun and there's so much to do that I would still really enjoy myself and not get lonely or bored, right? So I decided to book the trip. So originally, as I said, we did have an Airbnb. I ended up deciding to go with a hotel instead, because I was thinking about it and I was like, do I really want to be in an Airbnb alone in someone's home in New Orleans? I don't know the neighborhood. I don't know the neighbors. I'll just go with the hotel where I'm surrounded by a bunch of other people. Whatever. Okay, so I ended up getting the hotel. Now, I ended up staying in Metairie, which is literally 15 minutes from New Orleans. And I chose that area because it's a little bit cheaper for the hotels, right? I like to discount and budget when I'm traveling anywhere, from the flights to the activities to the Airbnbs, hotels, whatever. So I'm thinking okay, nice, quiet, safe little area, and it's a decent price. Well, what I didn't realize was just that 15-minute drive is a $22 to $28 Uber fare one way. So every time I went out to Bourbon Street, or anytime I went downtown, anytime I went somewhere significant further than 5 minutes away, my Uber was at least $20-some, right? One way. So imagine me going to Bourbon Street for the night, right? That's $50 just to get to and from Bourbon. Then I'm buying drinks, then I'm buying food, then I'm buying souvenirs, whatever. So it was definitely expensive as far as transportation. I did not expect that. I've never paid $25 one way for 15 minutes. You know what I mean? So that's definitely something to look into. I would say the next time I plan, I would definitely choose a hotel downtown, even though they're gonna run you about $100 more for the total, probably about. It's kind of worth it, because I did my calculations for how much I spent in Uber from Friday until Monday, and it was $210. So if you're not prepared to pay $210 just for transportation, not even turning up, clubbing, rooftop bars, food, drinks, you might want to consider just staying downtown where you can walk pretty much everywhere. And if you do have to catch an Uber, the distance will be a lot shorter and you won't have to pay so much.
Also, I've said when I do go back, because I will be back, because I had a ball by myself, so I know I'll have even more fun with people. But I did say when we go back, it'll be a little bit easier also with Uber, because then I'll be splitting it with 1, 2, 3 other people, so it won't be as bad. So anyway, on to other things. Alright, so as far as traveling alone as a female and staying safe, for me, and I've had various jobs where I've kind of been taught and trained to know what to look out for, and like keep my head on a swivel, not just be out and about looking lost or looking, you know, like a tourist per se, right? So my experiences might be a little bit different than other females, right? Because I kind of already know how to carry myself and I already know what to look out for. All in all, I would say just fit in. And New Orleans isn't a hard place to fit in, because you have people looking crazy, wearing crazy things, you know, looking normal, wearing normal things. It's just like a mixture of people. So it's not like if you dress a certain way or you talk a certain way or whatever, you're gonna be pinpointed like, oh my gosh, she's from Maryland. You know what I mean? So just try and, you know, fit in. Make sure that you always kind of, you know, keep an eye out for what's going on around you. You don't have to be like looking paranoid and turning all around, you know, looking like somebody's chasing you, but definitely, you know, kind of keep an eye out. Don't, you know, give people too much information. I had a few people ask me like, oh, so are you here alone? And that's when you just got to start making stuff up. I told a few people like, no, my friends are down there. They didn't want to come shopping with me, or no, they stayed back at the hotel because da-da-da. But whatever you do, don't be telling people that you came down there, because you never know. There's crazy people out here. Also, I carried a fanny pack a lot in New Orleans just because they're known for pickpocketing. You have to kind of do your research on the area that you're going to. I know New York City is also known for pickpocketing. And you just really got to be on your P's and Q's. Remember, when you're traveling alone as a female, you don't have that friend to kind of look after your stuff and look after you. So whereas you're normally in a big group of girls or whatever, right? So if you make a mistake and drop your debit card, there's someone who'll see it and say, hey, here you go. Or if you lose your phone somewhere when y'all went to the bar, one of your girlfriends is going to grab it for you. Or if you're really drunk and out and about and just get messy, like, you have your friends there for you. When you're traveling alone, you have to be on your P's and Q's, because no one is watching out for you except for the person who possibly means harm towards you, right? You can't really, in my opinion, let loose and turn up how you normally would, right? Because as I said, you don't have your friends there to kind of have your back, right? Moving on, I would say, like I had mentioned before, do your research in all areas and aspects. Now I know, do your research on the Uber prices or transportation prices. Do your research on, you know, the safety, even though you don't want to like make yourself paranoid, but sometimes it's just good to know what areas to be in or to visit and to not visit, or what time of day that they're okay. Yeah, just get yourself really well acquainted before you decide to step out. And speaking on that, I actually was in Felix's, which is like a really famous seafood restaurant down in the French Quarter, and I had met these two guys that worked there, and I was like, hey, I really want a crab boil, like a real New Orleans, Louisiana crab boil. Where can I get it? So they were like, oh yeah, you should go to this place called Cajun Seafood. They never told me where this place was located, right? So I'm going to try and include some footage that I took, because I dropped my location to 3 of my friends, and I like recorded, I recorded some footage, and I FaceTimed my one friend and like showed her. When I tell you, my Uber driver pulled up and I was like, oh shoot, it looked like we in the hood. He was like, yeah, looks like it, and just let me out the car. It was so, I don't know where I was, but I looked on the map later, and I saw it wasn't like super far from Holly Grove, and it was definitely popping down there. It was like people getting arrested, a ton of police cars. As soon as I got out, it literally had to been like 200 people just standing. And I was just walking by myself, and I wasn't too afraid. It was just more so I felt in that situation I did stand out, you know what I mean? Because naturally you kind of know, like, if we're from the DMV and we do things a certain way, and then you see somebody get dropped off in an Uber and they just not looking like they know where they're going or what they're doing, you can kind of tell, right? So I was like, oh my gosh, let me just get this seafood and go, right? So that was a kind of interesting experience that I had. Okay, so some people would ask, is it boring, right? For me, I spend a lot of time alone and I am like comfortable with myself. So I do go to restaurants alone. I do go to the bar alone. I do go to Ocean City alone a lot in the summertime. So I don't really mind being by myself. So this trip for me wasn't like the scariest thing in the world once I did have the courage to do it. But I can see how for some females, it can be pretty intimidating, because a lot of females, don't feel comfortable venturing out on their own. A lot of my friends tell me, oh, I won't even go to the mall alone. I won't even go out to eat alone. I won't even go to the bar alone. So I guess for me, it wasn't as bad. The only tips I can give you there is, I guess, start small. Try and start going to the mall or going shopping alone. Try and go out to eat alone. Try and go to the bar alone, and get comfortable with being alone, and then take that next step. And like I said, maybe go to Ocean City, then maybe go to New York, and then try and do like a further trip, right? What else? I know a lot of times when I vacation with other people, I like to get up and go. I like to utilize all of my time. I'm very, very much so the type of person who loves to experience the culture, the food, the art. I don't like to be like, hey, I'm in Florida and I just want to go to Burger King. Or, hey, I'm in Kentucky and I just want to go to McDonald's and then go back to the room. Like, no, I want to taste their food. I want to see what they do. I want to go to their festivals. Like, I want to explore. I want to see what is in this state or in this country that isn't like my country or my state and what I'm used to. So moving freely is very important for me, because I like to really, be able to utilize my time and not have to wait on people, not have to be on other people's time. Some people get tired easily. Some people don't like walking. I get ready quick. I clean up quick. So I don't need to be in the hotel taking 2 to 3 hours just to get ready every day. Yeah, basically I enjoy being able to move freely and do what I want. Also, traveling solo allows you to travel the world. As I mentioned in the caption for this video, I really have had the worst time trying to plan trips. From people literally canceling on me the day before, from people literally waiting till we're on the phone planning the trip to tell me that they don't have the money in their bank account, from people letting me book things and then coming back and canceling, like, just wild things. And I'm just like, I just can't. Like, I literally feel like I had PTSD from trip planning at one point. And I was just so frustrated because I was like, okay, well, I want to do this, but who can I get to do it with me? And then people will tell you yes, and then people will tell you a time that works for them, and you'll let them pick the month, the time, the day, that every little aspect just for them to cancel on you, right? So I was just like, I really need to start looking into traveling alone, because there's so many places I want to go, so much I want to do. But if I continue to listen to other people's lies, let other people feed me a whole bunch of BS that they never plan on, fulfilling, I'm never gonna get anywhere. And I was just over the trip planning thing in general. It was just almost to the point where I was like, I was telling somebody the other day, I think people like the idea of traveling, like it's like a fad now, you know what I mean? People have always traveled, but I feel like now more than ever it's like, let's travel, I travel type of thing, which is great, but like, do you really travel, or you just like the idea of traveling? Because I've literally had so many people tell me like, yes, I would love to do that. I've been wanting to do that for so long, And you put it all together. And like I said, I'm the type of person, like, I'm going to let you do what works best for you, right? So I have friends with kids. I have friends that are married. I have friends with like super tight work schedules. So I'm like, hey, choose what works best for you. And I'm willing to accommodate you. And I'm willing to, work with you and flex my schedule out so that it meets your standards or your needs. And even still, you give somebody the whole world and they still don't want it. So I was like, do y'all just like taking pictures to say you went somewhere? Do y'all just like telling people you're going somewhere? Like, I never understood how so many people could say that they wanted to travel, but then when it came down to it, it's like something scares them. Like, they just, I don't know. Like, it was just really weird to me. And it was multiple people. It wasn't just females. It wasn't just males. It wasn't just my close friends. It was like coworkers and, associates and close friends too. And I don't know. But yes, traveling alone is in some cases the only way that you are going to go anywhere, because if you keep on waiting on other people, trust me, you're either going to wait a really long time to get to where you want to go, or you ain't going to get there, okay? I think that traveling alone also allows you to have me time, right? It allows you to clear your head, focus on you, go get a nice massage, go have a nice spa day. Even when I was up on the rooftop, I just like to just sit and think and reflect a lot of times. Sometimes I feel like we reach certain points in life and we don't even realize how blessed we are. So I like to just, go to the water sometimes, or go to rooftop bars sometimes and just have a drink and just reflect on, like, all the blessings that I do have, and how sometimes, you want to complain naturally, but you don't really have anything to complain about. So just, taking that deep breath in and just enjoying life in the moment. It's also very powerful, I think, as a female, to be able to travel alone and be happy in it, and just embrace it is a very powerful thing. So then, cons. Obviously, to travel alone, it's a lot more expensive. I know for resorts, like when you travel internationally, they actually charge you extra because you're occupying a 2-person room. So that sucks. But it's the price you pay to travel alone. You would think it would be cheaper, but it's not. Then obviously, like, getting a hotel or an Airbnb, you still don't have that other person to split it with. So instead of paying, let's say your room totals $400 and you would normally split that with your partner or your friend, now you're paying the whole $400. You know what I mean? Also, as I mentioned before, you can't really let loose. You can't really turn up like you would want to. You kind of got to keep it to a minimal amount of drinks if you drink, and just make sure that you're good. You can still make it home safely. Your judgment isn't altered, whatever. Also, for me, you guys know, I like taking pictures. I like really capturing, moments in life. And sometimes you gotta ask somebody random to take those pictures for you. I don't mind it, but I don't know, some people don't like asking random people to take their pictures. So yeah, you don't have your friends there to take pictures for you, which is really convenient. You know, they can take all the right angles and whatever else. You kind of got to keep it sweet, short, simple. Ask some random lady to take your picture. You can't ask her to take 5, so you better be happy with that one. And yeah, that's pretty much it. There aren't too many cons in my book. I definitely encourage every female to try this, even if it's somewhere close to home, and just really see how you like it, and really see if this is something that you may want to continue to do. I know I definitely will, because now that I know that I can do it, I'm not waiting on anyone else, baby. But there are certain places that I do want to go with someone. So some vacations will be exclusive to my friends and I. But other places that I know I can just get in and out, quick little weekend trips, still have a ball, I'm going to be doing that. So yes, I hope you guys enjoyed the footage, and I'll see you guys next time.